Today on Tips with True, what we're talking about is how you can make money in photography and videography. If you don't know me, my name is Brian True. I'm a professional photographer and videographer. And what I mean by professional is this is how I make a living. I make a living behind the camera. I've been in the business for about 6 years now. I've been in the media industry for about 20 years total. I've worked with people like Jay-Z, Beyonce, Yo Gotti, Designer, The Dream, Ashley Graham. The list goes on and on. I mean, it's kind of hard to name everybody, because it's been a really long, short actually. 6 years is not a long time to be in the business, but I've had a really good time in this industry. And I've had an enormous amount of experience in this short amount of 6 years that I've been behind the camera. And prior to that, not prior to that, but 20 years I've spent in the media industry in total. I started out as an audio engineer or graphic designer technically. From a graphic designer to an audio engineer, from an audio engineer to now a photographer and videographer. I got started by way of my wife. Giving credit where credit is due. Hi, honey. Hi, honey. Oh, hi, honey. Oh, hi, honey. Hi, honey. My wife's a singer, and she needed some photos for her palm cards, business cards, etc. And we decided to hire some photographers to try to get that work done. And we decided that ultimately it would have been a better investment to purchase an inexpensive camera and to take the photos ourselves. Neither one of us was familiar with photography at the time, and I decided with the 9-to-5 job that I was working, we had bonus time. Everybody loves bonus time, and it was bonus time in my life. So I decided to go ahead and invest in getting a camera. Got a camera, a couple lights, and just started shooting her, man. I was just shooting her, trying to see how the camera worked, watching videos after videos about what worked best and what scenario, what lights work best. And you know how we do when we get cameras. You just keep perfecting and perfecting and perfecting, or trying and trying and trying. And that's one of the most important things in this business. And that is, you just have to get out and just do it, man. You can't sit back, watch YouTube videos all day and not do something. And sometimes as creatives, we can get into that space, whereas we're always gathering the information and we're not converting that information into application. It's so easy to get into that space where we're just sitting in the bed or sitting at the table or sitting on the train with the headphones in, the earbuds in, and we're just watching videos all day long. You know what I'm saying? So we just need to get to the place where we say, all right, now it's time to do. And that's where I was. I was in a doing phase. Like I was learning a little bit and I was doing a lot. Now, a lot of those images turned out pretty sucky. Absolutely. Can't stand them. To this day, I'm like, ooh. But to be quite honest with you, there's some images that I may take today that I can't stand. But that's just part of the process. And you have to go through that process in order to become better at your craft. So as in the process of shooting her and her singing gigs, stuff like that, we came across somebody who happened to be the production manager for an artist named Yo Gotti. You know the name, he's a popular guy. So long story short, ended up driving for Yo Gotti. Didn't shoot for him. However, I always had my camera with me, which is why before I get into that, I want to say one of the things you should consider in how to make money in this industry to start, not as somebody who's been in the industry for a minute, but to start, you want to consider which division or which aspect of this industry you want to focus on, whether it be photography or videography. And you heard it from me, I'm going to say not both. And yes, I do both. Yes, absolutely. I make money with photography and with videography. However, when I first started out, I wish that I had the information that I have right now, and I would have just focused on one versus the other. I was trying to do both. I was trying to do photography and videography. Now, granted, using a DSLR when you're doing photography and videography, some of the techniques are very, very, very similar. A lot of them are, in fact. However, if I was able, I speak about me, if I was able to focus on just one, I think I would be a little bit further along in one of the two fields a little bit earlier than what I am now. And possibly even further along in my field than I am right now in this space and time. So that's my first tip to you. Tip number one is choose one. Choose photography or videography. And once you decide the one you have the most passion about, not the one you think you can make the most money from, choose the one that you have the most passion about. Are you most passionate about motion pictures, or are you most passionate about still pictures? Once you decide that, then you need to go to step two. And that is, my friend, perfect the craft. Spend as much time as you possibly can shooting. Shoot, 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 shoot. I don't care what it is you're shooting, shoot it. Go outside during the daytime when you have natural light. Go outside at nighttime when you have ambient light. When I say ambient light, I mean like street lights, stop lights, lights from stores, etc. Use every single type of thing you have at your fingertips to help you to perfect your craft. It's not about the gear that you have. It's more about what you do with the gear that really matters. Because again, I transitioned from being Yo Gotti's driver to being Yo Gotti's cinematographer, or as we say in the industry, the cameraman. I became Yo Gotti's cameraman. And I had a Canon T2i for the whole first year that I worked with him. It wasn't until the year after that my wife and I decided to invest in a Canon 5D, got a couple better lenses, etc., etc. But I started out just with the gear, and I learned that gear like the back of my hand. I cannot stress that even more so. If you can learn one piece of equipment like the back of your hand, you have no idea the possibilities that are right before your fingertips. Learn your gear, learn your gear, learn your gear. Okay, next thing, after you learn your gear, you have to establish yourself. What do I mean by that? You have to get out there in front of people and let people know that this is what you know how to do. I haven't talked this much since my last argument. Just kidding. So get out there and establish yourself. Let people know your name, what it is you do, and let them know your skill set. Case in point, my wife, I keep coming back to my wife because she's a part of me in this journey. So my wife, she is also a model, right? So she entered this competition some years back called Finding Ashley Stewart, right? And I've only been in the industry 6 years. So when I say some years back, we're talking 2 years ago. Finding Ashley Stewart, where the Ashley Stewart clothing brand goes around to some malls, wherever their stores are located, and they're looking for the next face of the brand. My wife went to try out for that. So what I did, I showed up with my camera, and I essentially was her cameraman, right? Now this is after working with Yo Gotti. So now I'm from entertainment, I'm bouncing between entertainment and fashion at this point in my career, right? So at this particular moment, we're doing a fashion event. Ashley Stewart, my wife's going. I got my camera, I'm shooting my wife as she's at this event. What do? I create a video from this event, and I did it fast. Oh, that's another thing in establishing yourself. When you're establishing your brand, that's what I mean, establishing yourself. You're establishing your brand as a photographer or a videographer. You have to be fast. I understand that quality of work is important, absolutely. But one of the things, and I can speak about myself, One of the things that helped me to shine a little bit brighter than the next guy is the fact that I was always fast in my turnaround time. I would go to an event, and by the next morning, a video would be posted online, and you would get views and likes and shares. And what happens when you get views and likes and shares? You get the attention of people who have money to buy and money to spend. So this is why you have to know your craft. Wait a minute. Choose your lane. I should have said that better. I should have said that first. Choose your lane, photo or video. Perfect your craft. 2, and establish your brand. Next thing, and the item that I just mentioned, establishing yourself, establishing your brand, and this item and the next item all kind of go under the same umbrella, right? But I'm going to list them individually because you really need to know the importance of each section of this one item. So really, it's 3 main things in total. The big umbrella is 3 main things. And then under that third thing is they're broken up into 3 individual levels. So establish your brand, that's one of them. And then get out there, that's the second one. You have to get out there, let people know who you are. Being fast is a part of establishing your brand. And the last thing is you have to hang around the money. I can't say that clear enough. You gotta hang around the people that have money. When I first started out, I did a lot of free stuff. I did a lot of free stuff to get established. This is part of my, and I know I'm jumping back and forth, but this is how I communicate. So, bear with me. I just got myself into some free stuff and some low paying stuff. And even to this day, if you follow me, I'll advertise a special every 2 or 3 months just to 1, continually perfect my craft, and 2, to always keep my name in people's mouths in a positive sense. Because just like a store, a major chain store, they have sales all the time. So far be it from me not to have a sale as well if I'm also attempting to continually keep my brand on people's brains. I make most of my money in this industry working with brands. If I'm not working in entertainment and I'm working in fashion, I'm working with brands. If I'm working in entertainment, I'm also working with the brand, whether that brand be an individual artist, whether that brand be a record label. I'm always working with brands. Brands have the most money. Now, don't get me wrong, individuals have a lot of money as well, because I've made a lot of money working with individuals, doing individual photo shoots, individual videos, etc. So it depends on, again, what lane you want to go into. And after you are established and you've perfected your craft, then I would say go ahead and branch out. If you've been doing video, go ahead and branch out into photography. If you've been doing photography, go ahead and branch out and do video. And that way you can continually make money. If you're not making money on photos this month, you can make money on videos this month, and vice versa. But you always will have a stream of income coming in. And then you can go into things like training people, etc. And like I'm doing right now, I'm expanding my brand into YouTube. So that's where we are, guys. And I think I've shared enough information for you to take, and as my uncle would always say, eat the meat, spit out the bone. If it doesn't apply to you, that's fine. If it does apply to you, then take what I've shared with you and expound upon it. Take it and run with it. Make all the money. You know what I'm saying? Shoot everybody and make money from it. I really hope that you guys got something from this today, and I really hope that you just kill it, man. I really hope that you just smash with every area that you are getting into, whether you are a beginner, whether you're an intermediate, whether you're a professional. I just want you to kill it, bro. absolutely kill it. Until next time, love, live life. Peace.